I'm joined right now by a cornerback for the Baltimore Ravens. He is a Super Bowl champion. He had 7 tackles in yesterday's win over Houston, 198 tackles, 8 picks, and 2 sacks in 5 NFL seasons. I'm joined by Lardarius Webb. Lardarius, great to have you on the show. How are you?
How are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Good, man. Thank you for doing it. Listen, ordinarily I would never, ever start you off with a question about somebody else, but I know what the guy meant to you and the team. It just seems so strange to see Ed Reed make his return to Baltimore in a Texans uniform. How strange was it for you to see him out there in Texans colors?
Oh, that was a sight to see. You know, I'm used to seeing him in the purple and white. To see him on the other side was kind of hurtful, you know, because I wanted him to end his career here with me. But it was good just to see him, you know, back on the field, you know, healthy from his, from his surgery, just doing what he loves. We miss him here. You know, we love him. We respect him so much. You know, he taught me everything I know about this game, you know, about being a professional, you know, about studying the game, just about football. You know, to see him on Houston, you know, it was kind of hurtful for me, but it was still good to see him on the field.
Appreciate your thoughts on him. One more thing. I mean, you played safety coming up, and obviously that was a guy that you'd want to model yourself after when you were younger. What was it like the first time you walked into a meeting room and you saw him there and he was your teammate?
It was crazy. I mean, most of the guys was kind of shocked to see Ray Lewis, you know, and me, I was more shocked to see Ed Reed. You know, I wore number 20 in college, played safety, wanted to be just like this guy. And in time to get drafted to this team with this guy was like a dream come true, a blessing. But, you know, I had to get used to him. I was kind of nervous around him because he was Ed Reed. But sooner or later, man, he was just exactly what I thought he was. You know, the guy that I wanted to be like. You know, how he interacted with the community, how he treated the fans, and how he was as a human being. So I just made me look up to him a little bit more.
Lardarius Webb joining us on the program. You know, you look at that defense right now, so we fast forward ahead, and he's no longer there. Ray Lewis is no longer there, and it's not just those guys. Donnell Ellerbe, Paul Kruger. You knew there was going to be change, and it might take some time to get everybody on that same page. And then Peyton Manning puts up 49 on the defense in the opener. That's something that never happens to a Ravens defense. What was the mood like after that game, and what were you all telling each other?
We just knew that we had to go back to work. You know, we had to watch film, you know, correct our mistakes, and just knew that wasn't the Ravens team or the Ravens D that we wanted to be. You know, we just went back and everybody held each other accountable. You know, we wanted to play for the man next to us, and we just went back to work, you know, and that's what we're still doing to this day.
You know, since then, you've given up just 15 points in the last 2 games. I mean, essentially, is that what it just came down to? Guys going back to work and playing for the guys next to them? And is it starting to feel like a Baltimore Ravens defense to you now?
Oh, yes. You know, we're doing good, you know, but, you know, like we say, we still have a lot of work to do. We can be a way better defense than we are right now. We just have to go back in, just like on the loss. We go in and look at our mistakes and get better. Right now, we're still trying to get better. You know, we feel like we can be a better defense. We feel like we can get more turnovers. We can put more pressure on the quarterback. We feel like we have a lot of room for improvement.
Lardarius Webb joining us on the program, a cornerback for the Baltimore Ravens. You know, one of the big questions then coming into the year was who was going to replace the veteran leadership that you lost. The guys that we talked about are no longer there. How have you handled that, and did you take any of that upon yourself to step in and try to fill that void?
Yes, you know, it's kind of hard to replace, you know, Ed Reed and Ray Lewis, you know, and the great leaders that they are. You know, I just try to be myself, you know, being a leader by example. Just going out on the field and working my butt off and letting the young guys see how hard we work around here. But we still have some guys like Terrell Suggs, you know, Haloti Nada. We brought in Darryl Smith, you know, Marcus Spears. We brought in a lot of guys who are leader caliber guys. You know, we got Canty. We have some guys on this defense that are taking over that leadership, you know. We have a new safety, James. He's bringing Matt Elam along, you know, with him and Michael Huff. We have some veteran guys on this defense who have been in the league for some time and just know how to be a professional and just know how to handle a team.
You know, Lardarius, I'm looking at your situation. It's amazing what you've overcome physically. You tore your ACL in week 6 of last year against Dallas, but back in 2009, you had already torn your right ACL. So when you and Dez Bryant collided last season, you had already been through this whole thing and come all the way back and were playing at a very high level. When you had that collision last season, what was that moment like, and did you know right then and there what happened?
Yeah, as soon as I went down, I looked at Coach Harbs and just started shaking my head, knowing that, man, this season is over. It hurt my heart, and it took about a month or two for me to just get it in my heart that, this was just a little minor setback, that I was going to come back from it. I love this game, and I feel to this day that I missed that Super Bowl run. I didn't get to play in that Super Bowl, and that's my goal. That's my whole motivation to this day. I want to play in a Super Bowl with these guys. It was a great feeling just being on the side. Great feeling just to get Joe Flacco his first ring, for Harbaugh to get his first one, and Ed Reed to get his first one. I wanted to be a part of that, and I feel like a champion, but I wanted to be on that field. I wanted to be in that Super Bowl. So that's my motivation, to get my team back to that Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's fascinating, really, because you put in a ton of work. You were a major contributor to that team. You have a Super Bowl ring. You earned that Super Bowl ring. But in your mind, does it feel like kind of a yeah, but? Or are you going to walk out there and say, I'm as worthy of that ring as anybody who's got that same ring on their hand? How do you approach it?
Man, that ring mean a lot to me. That whole team meant a lot to me. With Ray Lewis, going down and coming back, and how he was able to overcome all that adversity through the year. Terrell Suggs being out before and coming back. That whole Super Bowl team, it meant a lot, man. But it hurt. It hurt being on the sideline, watching it. I was very, very happy for the team. Very, very happy. Glad we won that game. But kind of it was still hurtful inside that I wasn't able to play, in the year that I went down. That was the year that we win the Super Bowl. But, it's not about me. It's bigger than me. It's about my team. And that was the most important part, that these guys, this organization was able to win a championship. And now we know what it feels like. That's the reason we're working our butts off to get back, because it was one of the greatest feelings you can ever feel.
Lardarius Webb joining us. It's something when you talk about the injury, and I appreciate your thoughts on that. When you talk about the injury, you kind of set that up as the second ACL tear was a minor setback. That's how a gamer is going to approach it. It's a minor setback to set up a major comeback, but from where I'm sitting, honestly, it doesn't seem like a minor setback. That's a really significant thing if you've already been through it once before and you've come back again. What was more challenging, coming back physically a second time or mentally, knowing you had to go through all of it again, and then you had to wonder, can I be the guy that I was prior to it happening again?
Yeah, I just feel like it was hard mentally. Just getting through my head that, okay, it happened. I have to let it go. I'll come back just like I did the first time, because it happened the first time, I understood, what I had to do the second time. I knew that I had to get up and just work my butt off. I understood the hard work that it was going to take for me to get back on this field and to be the guy that I was before I left. So I took it to my hand to just wake up every day and make sure I did everything I could do before that day ended, and, seeing guys like Adrian Peterson, seeing a guy like myself, seeing guys that have been through this road and came back and still, playing at a high level. That was kind of, my motivation, and just, praying a lot, keeping my faith up. That helped me keep my head up and be strong. But, like I say, I'm just an example for other guys, for the younger guys who might have to go through some adversity, and knowing that, you're never down, you're never out of it. You can always come back from anything. You just have to put your mind to it.
Lardarius Webb, my guest. I'll tell you, it's great food for thought. Listen, you're obviously a very, very proud athlete. Lardarius, is it me? I could have swore that I saw a commercial for the Madden game where you got run over. I know you can't be happy about that, my man.
I wasn't at all, because that's one part of my game that I know that I can do. I'm a great tackler. No matter how big you are, how fast you are, I'll stick it in there, and I'm not going to get ran over because I know how to tackle. Just something I know how to do since I played safety. But hey, it was okay. I kind of posted it on my Instagram just to let everybody know that it was a fluke. But I tried to prove this year that anybody come my way, I'm going to make sure I knock them out.
Fluke. Hey, there you go. I was going to say fluke, man. It can't be a fluke if it never happened. It's one thing if you get beat deep, or if somebody beats you or gets behind you, that's one thing. That'll happen, right? But this doesn't happen, so they shouldn't put that there, right?
Yeah, that doesn't happen. Not to me. No.
Lardarius Webb joining us. My man, that was a great conversation. Really, really good to have you on the show. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
That was fun, man. That was good stuff. Really good stuff, actually. Lardarius Webb. Man, what a great attitude. You imagine, one torn ACL, came all the way back, playing at a Pro Bowl level, tore the other ACL, and missed a Super Bowl opportunity. And still with an amazing attitude.